What if the biggest comeback ain't the one people see, but the one you survive? On today's episode 32 of Sculpt N Create, I'm kicking it with Shunda K, MC, lyricist, and a woman with a story that goes way beyond the booth. Shunda talks self-love, healing, boundaries, and what it really means to rebuild from the ground up, including coming back from homelessness and still staying locked in on her purpose. We talk about why she refuses to chase the industry's approval, why independent artists have to move more like entrepreneurs, and how to protect your energy so you can actually create at your highest level. This one ain't just about music. It's about mindset, purpose, and getting back to you. Episode 32 starts right now. And while you're listening, make sure you hit subscribe or follow and drop a comment with your biggest takeaways from the episode. Welcome to Sculpt N Create, where fitness fuels creativity in helping artists, entertainers, and creators on their journey toward their physical, personal, and career growth. I'm your host, Trea Da Fit Artist, and who I have with me today is Shunda K. She's an MC and lyricist. Welcome to the show, Shunda.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm glad you can make it. So before we begin and get into it, let everybody know more about you, where they can listen more to your music, where they can book you, whole nine, set your links out and so forth.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much. I'm Shunda K of Your Majesty. I'm from the itty bitty Plant City, Florida. You can check out my website at shundak.com. It'll take you to my Bandcamp. You can download my 50-track mixtape that I did as my AKA DJ Slow Jam. So y'all make sure y'all go to the website, download the mixtape, and hit me back.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Y'all check her out. All right, so let's get into it. So as you stated, you are MC and lyricist. So let's talk about like what type of music you can make, what's your style, and so forth.
Well, I call it truth music. I've been on a journey of self-love and healing for the past few years, and just learning how to love myself again, put myself first and pursue my dream, even dreams that I had as a child. So like embracing my inner child, just really focusing on myself. So my music as of late has been reflecting that journey and inspiring and encouraging people to do the same, to get back to healing, get back in tune with nature, that self-love, man, it is the highest vibration. And I'm all about assisting the people to knowing and understanding what your destiny is and fulfilling it.
Okay. I like that. And that's very refreshing to hear, especially in this climate or in this juncture where hip hop is now, or where I say mainstream hip hop, where so much like drugs, sex, violence is pushed, so to hear somebody saying they content is about motivation, self-healing, and discovering themselves and so forth, that definitely, is something, I feel like we need to do more of. So
Definitely.
tell me, why did you think you should go that route versus the other route where people seem to look like it's the lighted path to talk about those things?
Well, it started when I woke up to the reality of our existence. And the things that we're striving for is an illusion. That's not really true fulfillment, especially when you're looking for happiness in things outside of yourself, people outside of yourself, because that can't really make you happy. Like happiness truly comes in. And so, I had to learn how to set healthy boundaries and realize when people really went for me, family, friends, business associates, whatever, and stop tolerating fake love. So, that truth of understanding that, man, every time I try to put my all into something outside of myself, I always get let down. And then I'm left with nothing, having to start from scratch, whether it's emotionally, physically, financially, whatever. And so just taking that same energy that I was giving to things outside of myself, giving it back to myself. And so when I have that time alone, because now I ain't giving my energy to nobody but myself, and I'm alone, I have time to sit and think and remember who I am. Remember the things that I used to love to do, what my passions were. Why did I stop? It's just like this deep reflection, on your life. And so they call that an awakening, right? And so I'm having this awakening and realizing like I'm really the one holding myself back because I'm giving my pearl to swine at the end of the day. And so, again, just putting that energy back into myself and realizing that, man, I feel so good in my soul. I feel good in my physical body. I feel good everywhere because I'm content. I got a peace of mind now. I'm not dealing with other people's issues, their problems, trying to save anybody, in these relationships that are unequally yoked, not just romantic, but all. I want to be, and I want people around me in my life that understand the equal give and take, that understand the energy that I'm pouring into you. That's what I expect in return. And so I've been manifesting those type of people, and by first cutting off the leeches and now putting that energy back into myself, and I'm attracting who I am and who I'm becoming. And that's how it works, man. Like, you're gonna get out of life what you put into it, and then what you put into yourself. Self-love is the foundation for all of your happiness, joy, peace of mind, financial stability, everything, because 'cause you're not wasting your time and energy no more. You automatically know when a person's coming into your energy that don't have the best intentions, got things going on, whatever the situation is, even good people, you know, 'cause you're now centered, you're balanced, you've been healing, you've been facing your shadows and your insecurities, your fears. And so all of those things coupled together is why I'm where I'm at today and what my music portrays.
Definitely, I feel like that's very important too as well, especially when you are a creative at a high level and so forth. You tend to need to weave out the things that don't matter so you can definitely produce how you need to produce and be functional in the aspect. So that would definitely help you to put that in your lyrics and then also live a well balanced life. Because if you just going one way and you out your element, so to speak, then that it speaks in your music, and then it also shows out in other ways too as well out throughout your life. So definitely being in a certain or positive energy definitely helps a lot. Yeah, right. I get. Oh yeah. So, what would you say, or your style and so forth, separates you from other artists, not just female artists, but just artists, period?
I'm like, what we discussed briefly. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
What we, just talked about before we started the show was how content and where music is today. It ain't no soul stirring in that. It's just producing death, and nobody's growing, uplifting or none of that. I come from the era where hip hop was like really your pulpit, like you emphasize, and like, as a musician, that is a very big responsibility, and so we should handle it with care, especially when you're able to draw the masses of people. That's a gift from God, and so if you wanna tarnish that gift and kinda be on the dark side of things, you're gonna be spitting the bullshit that we're hearing on the radio today. But me, I'm all about this new earth, right, and ushering it in and understanding that my responsibility was first to myself, to heal, and so now I need to spread this message, and this is the good news. And so that's what Imma use my gifts to do, not talk about things that, are vain per se, like vanity, physical, the money and all of that type of stuff. Like, I don't want nobody knowing my business. So I'm not gonna be
Yeah, right.
flossing it, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand the spiritual warfare aspect of that. I've been dealing with, and learning about the black magic and the witchcraft and how you become a target of potential witches and warlocks per se when they know what you got in your pocket. So moving in silence is gonna be key to fulfilling your destiny as well, and just having a different mindset. It's not about glitz
Yeah.
and glamour. What's the message that you're sending out? Because we are in, a state of restoration. And if your vibration is not on that frequency, you're not gonna be able to last in the earth. We're ascending, man. We're ascending from this lower consciousness to a higher consciousness.
And it's funny that you say you don't want nobody in your business. I remember listening to a few songs that I heard in one of your lyrics. You said, I not to put you in my business, but I guess it in. I don't know what song that was, but yeah, it was funny you said that. That's why I laughed and so forth. But definitely I do agree with you on that and so forth. And like I said, most female artists, we're the ones that most of the mainstream. You got a few outliers there they have some positive music and so forth. But when hearing your music and stuff like that, and don't get me wrong, and like some of the music, like, you know, we all human, you know, we do talk about having fun and doing this and stuff like that. So that's gonna be an element because I write music and do stuff like that too. But the main core of it shouldn't all of it should be like that, I feel, you know, and so forth. But with female artists, or the ones that be put down our throats and so forth, usually be about one piece of content. You know, they buy their sex and what they do and all that stuff like that, or money they making. And it's refreshing to hear somebody have multi-level content in their music and so forth. So why do you think that you think that's being pushed in mainstream
Eh,
in music or hip hop, and why are we not hearing more female rappers talk about other type of content?
well, it's spiritual warfare. So it's intentional by the powers that want to be, you know, because of course a majority of the world is in under this illusion. They abide by society's norms and they're not their authentic self. And so that's why the healing is so important because it brings you back to self where you can walk in your truth
Okay,
and be real and not have to fake it
right,
to make it or fear of people pleasing is real, man, and it's something that I had to break. You know, trying to live my life to satisfy other people and not being my authentic self. Because at the end of the day, God is love and God knows all. So just keep it real. You were made perfect in the image of God. I'm not as far as the other so called female, because I'm questioning some shit. Okay, I'm questioning, you know, and I don't have anything against the transgender movement, but I
okay.
question if a lot of
I
those
know where you were going.
females are
I
female.
Yeah, gotcha. Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't know where you were going with that when you asked that so-called female. Then you said, okay, I get what. Oh, so you talking about them for making music as
I'm
well?
talking about them not being born female.
Okay,
Okay, and
gotcha.
so then when you have males disguised as females, that's a form of black magic and witchcraft. And then you pushing this agenda for females to be whores. That's not our natural essence for emphasis. You know what I'm saying? We're the mothers of all civilization, so you're tarnishing or trying to. This is for me, I call it the war against the womb. And so that's what I think that is, and I really feel like it is from the research that I've been doing. Because 'cause I'm not just an MC or a musician, like, you know, I can call myself a historian. I'm going back to the beginning to where it began and studying to show myself approval, really just getting an understanding on what this earth is really about. Like, what is this reality about? The deception. I know that God creates the good and the evil, the light and the dark. So at the end of the day, God is in control of it all. But for me to maneuver and be the best that I can be and fulfill my dreams, I need to have an understanding on how I need to maneuver through this maze. And so that's my take on it. It's definitely intentional and to tarnish the divine feminine energy, which is
I
making a
got you.
strong comeback. So, I'm doing my part.
Definitely, man. Well, that's more than what you can, do in it. Well, I would say, that's the start, in that way. And so basically, what you're saying is, don't be delusional when you're making music, and just really be true to who you are
Yeah,
and so forth.
mind the gates of your
Yeah.
ears and what you're listening to and being fed, you know what I'm saying? You're in
Okay.
control of your life. You don't have to listen
Right.
to this stuff. You ain't gotta watch TV. You don't have to be programmed. You don't have to choose that. You have a choice. You have free will that God gave you. Use your free
Yeah.
will to save yourself because ain't nobody coming to save you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and good that you stated that for as the listeners too, because I believe they have some part to blame into that as well of what's pushed out. Because most time is in just pure essence of business
Yeah,
is supply and demand. You know what I'm saying? So if this way, yeah, this is what people want to hear.
right.
Then let's make more of this music. So in that essence, I get it, but it just seems like it's more so portrayed in hip hop or R&B than it is any other genre
Yeah,
and so forth. So that's one thing I look at. But then also too, what do you tell them women that they got to break through the noise and so forth? They probably was this way, or doing the type of style of music that you make and so forth. but the executives or the people in these rooms looking at their body and don't want to hear the content that they got to make, and they tell them then they got to sex it up and so forth. What would you tell to them if they want out for them to make it? And so what would you tell to them when they get into these rooms and stuff like that, and they might be struggling and trying to get break into the industry, but this is the way it seems like they got to break in.
I love that question. And I just want to say, don't sell your soul for silver and gold. Your gifts were given to you from on high. God, the God that created you, gave you those gifts. You don't have to beg nobody for fame and fortune. That you can sell your soul because that's out there. People do that. I have family members that have done it and have been dealing with some stuff with industry people, celebrities that you know. But I'm not going to sell my soul for silver and gold. I know the formula. It's the formula to success. And, I signed a record deal back in 2008 with Domino Records in London, in the UK. I've been all over the world. I didn't have to sell my soul. I just showed out. I showed up and showed out at them shows at South by Southwest in 2007, and we set the city on fire. So your gift will make room for you and bring you before your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men without you having to sell your soul. As a female, and really everybody, and this is the power that we possess when you take your power back. You have the power to create the reality that you want. And what I'm talking about with this healing thing, man, when I tell you I was homeless 3 years ago, living on a beach in a tent. I was getting my food stamps. That's how I survived every month. I didn't have no bills. I had my free food stamp phone. Like I was really like I here in these streets. I don't have anybody. I had to save myself. I couldn't just be on my knees praying every day and waiting for something to fall out the sky. No, I kept grinding. I kept recording music. I released the album. I kept pouring back into myself, even with nothing, or so I thought. But I had everything I needed. I had food, water, and shelter. And that's all you really need to get on your feet. At least that's what I learned. And so I literally am getting it out the mud. And the more that I pour into myself and love myself, God blesses me. Or I don't even want to say bless. Please excuse me. That word, I don't even use it, but I guess it was meant for me to say it to the people because the majority of the people do.
Right.
But that word is
Yeah.
not good. I should have said God favors me because the word bless actually means
Okay.
curse when you look into the etymology of it. So I don't usually
Okay.
say it, but God favors me. And so, when God is love, if God is love and you showing yourself love, it's like the law of attraction. You're gonna attract what you give yourself, man. So me loving myself, and now when I think about the things I want to do, I say I want to do this. When I say I want to do anything, the resources will appear for me to do it, or whatever I need. And that's because I'm just loving myself, and it's just so powerful for everybody to get back to self-love so that you can begin attracting the things that you deserve. But remember, faith without work. You gotta do it. You can have all the faith in the world, but you gotta put in the work too, manifest what you want. So that's what I would say to ladies is keep working towards your dreams and your goals. Never sell yourself short and sell your soul for silver and gold because it's only a temporary thing. But when it comes from on high, when it's really your time to shine, because you've been putting in the work behind the scenes and proving yourself to the one that made you, the doors will open. It will be like miracles. I said to myself, I want a female DJ. I had telling myself this for maybe 2 or 3 years. I know I'm I was homeless, but I'm picturing myself on stage. I'm knowing that I'm gonna be back on stage and back on top. I'm picturing it in my mind. I'm saying it to myself. I went to visit a cave yesterday. I'm with a group of ladies that I've never met. I went with another friend and we met up with a group of ladies I've never met, and I'm trying to get back out and trust people again. So I'm facing fears and all type of shit I'm doing, man. But I get to the cave, I'm hanging with the ladies, and there was this one girl that was there, and we just started talking. And I was like, "Well, what did you do?" She said, "I'm a DJ." I was like, "What?" And she's sexy, she's beautiful. And so it's like, okay, the return of the matriarch, baby, rise of the divine feminine energy. Let's go. And so we started talking about the genres that she plays, and I'm talking to her about my music and, the things that I've experienced in my music side of things. And so we're linking up. And that's what I mean by it's gonna take time, but you need that time to perfect your craft. Because when you step out on stage in front of a million people, because I mean, I played shows at 30,000, 60,000, 30 to 60,000 in the crowd. But when you step out there and now you've manifested this reality that you've been working towards, you got to be ready. So it's gonna take time. Like I've been having to rebuild my confidence. Things that I needed that time. I needed that time in nature. By the water. Water is important when transmuting pain. Go sit by the water. By the time you leave that ocean, you're gonna feel renewed. And so the healing is in nature. That's a very important tool to utilize on your healing journey, is getting back in tune with nature, getting back in nature. And so I just want to let y'all know, don't sell your soul for silver and gold. I'm a big advocate for that because again, I have family members that have. I have family members that have sold their soul and sacrificed other family members in my family that I have been having to speak out about. They've been trying to sacrifice me. I've been having to speak out about it because that's the only way to bring yourself justice. Because we have to save ourselves. So, like, I'm, man, when I tell you, I have no filter and I'm very transparent because it's the truth that makes us free. And I want to be free and I want to help everybody else get free.
Yeah, and I applaud you for that because I feel like more people are transparent, especially when in the music industry or the entertainment industry as a whole. I think people can go in there with their eyes open than to come in and see it's not what they thought it
Mhm.
was, or come out on the other side of it where they depressed. Some of them don't took their lives and stuff like that, and some of them in shambles and stuff like that. I believe a lot of that could be
It
avoided
can.
if they just knew what they was going into.
That's
And I think there's a lot by design in the music industry. I hear a whole lot, even with myself looking to get into it. I hear it. I'm in the research and development stages,
mhm.
but I think that's by design where they don't want you to know certain things, and stuff like that because it's all for profit and so forth. So,
But
but
now the
with you,
people are getting the power back because of the internet.
mhm,
And so
right?
you can release your own album. And this is what my label does is I basically assist people, and counsel the people on how to move forward and be successful in the industry without having to sell your soul. I talked about the formula. You need, you got to have the product. You need your product. It need to be mixed and mastered. It got to be pimped out. And then you need to get your EPK together. You need a publicist. Like how I got this interview with you was through my publicist. Okay. And he got a special going on right now, 300 a month. You need that for at least 6 months. You're gonna need marketing. You need the interviews. I do the podcast interviews. I do magazines and newspapers and blogs and different things like that. So he helping me to build a buzz in the media, and then you need to be doing your shows. Until
Yeah,
you can get paid, you need to be using the stage as your practice, for you to get a feel for the crowd, get a feel for your stilo and how your shows are gonna flow. Knowing what
yeah,
works, what doesn't in a live show, what songs you need to be playing. So you need to be actively putting into action. But that's
yeah.
basically the formula because once you
I
have
got
your
you.
buzz going and you killing these shows, promoters will start booking you. Get footage of your show. That's what you're using on your social media to let these promoters know, baby, I'm rocking the crowd. Because they need to see that. And so utilize social media to your advantage and keeping and the visuals are going to be very important. And so that's what I even started doing is open mics. I'm going to go to one
Okay,
tomorrow. I'm like, I need some dance music. I need footage of me killing it, showing the crowd. So I'm going to go do an open mic and rock the stage tomorrow and get the people up and moving and use that as footage on my social media. Because I haven't been performing for many years, but I'm known all over the world and people just need to see me again. So that's the formula. It's really simple and your product, having
yeah,
some hot songs, man. And like you said, right now we need songs that's if you can uplift the people and make them dance, baby, you in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like I said, and I appreciate you for sharing sharing the blueprint, so to speak, and for them to go in. Cause I think most times with people, they so gun ho, and as soon as they press play on it or release their music, they thinking they should, it should start popping out immediately. But the grind and the developing stages and so forth is so important, because once all that comes,
Yeah,
will you be able to handle it if it happens so fast?
right.
And so forth. So I believe that you got to speak to that and so forth. So definitely appreciate you for talking about that as well.
Indeed.
Now, so how long have you been making music for?
Well, I started messing around with it when I was like 7, 8. We used to put our names in songs instead of like when artists would put their name in their song, we would put our name and make it still rhyme and flow but like officially I was like 17, 18, writing songs, going to the studio. It wasn't until I put my group together. My group is called Your Majesty. And so I put that group together in like 20 was it 2001. And so from there, we grinded it out for like 5 years. We would go to the studio every day. We would do little shows here and there, but the producer that we was working with was from Europe. He was from London. So he took the music back, and of course the beats were not typical hip hop and R&B, but our MCs, rappers, vocalists, because one of our band members, she sang. But when he took it back
Okay.
to London and he started circulating it, we started getting show offers. We played South by Southwest 2007. South by Southwest is one of the biggest music festivals in the US, and it's a great place to go to showcase your talents if you want to get some recognition. And so we went for a week. It's like a week long. We was killing it 3 shows a day. So that festival, you're going to shows all day from sun up to sundown. So we planned 3 shows a day. The last show we had, we just killed it. Ended up getting we had like 2 record deal offers. We got those offers. So we took one of them, which was Domino Records. And so from that point on, I would say maybe like a year or 2, everything fell apart. But while things was, chaotic and toxic between myself and the band members, I started building my solo career and doing solo songs while I would tour with the group, because the group was all over the world. So I'm getting a chance to perform solo all over the world as well. And that was my transition with knowing that this shit was going to fall apart and I got to save myself. This is what I'm going to jump out here solo. And so it was a big step for me, and it definitely solidified Shunda K as an international artist. And so now with what I'm telling you that I'm doing the formula, because I already had that foundation. That it's just a matter of time. And this DJ that I met yesterday, she's Filipino. And so I was saying, I want to do the revival tour, because for me, I'm all about soul stirring, and we can dance the night away while you take in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and be uplifted through high
Yeah.
vibrational music. You know what I'm saying? And so she gonna be the plug to this Filipino tour, man. I've been manifesting Asia. I said I want to go to Asia next. I've been saying that maybe a year and a half. I met her yesterday. She from Asia. That's what the Philippines is. So
Right.
but putting in the work, man, like and investing in yourself is so important at this time. Like it's your time to shine. Ain't nobody holding you back. Like it's all about what you put into yourself, what you're making happen. And if you don't know it, don't be afraid to do the research. Artificial intelligence is your best friend right now. I know a lot of people talk about, the negative aspects, but it's good and bad, or light and dark in everything. And that's how it will be forever. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
embrace the technology though, because you can save a lot of time. I done created like 4 or 5 new businesses off of AI. Got a t-shirt company I just launched about a week ago. And so I utilize AI to help me with designs. Like you can use AI to create your album cover. You upload
yeah,
your picture. You can use AI to help you with creating content for your social medias of you as an artist with your song and a picture. And man, I've been utilizing it, and that's the content that I create for my social medias. Uh, so That's pretty much, I know I went way off, but that's how it got started, and when I learned about the Illuminati, that's when I backed out of
Okay.
the industry, so this is like
Okay.
2011.
Okay.
Sacrificed my grandmother. I didn't know
Wow.
about it until 2022, but as once I learned about it and went back, like, okay, that's what that happened. My cousin signed to Jay-Z, a people producer, songwriter.
Yeah.
So the things that are happening right now, and just kind of piggybacking off of this, not selling out because those same people, they're going down right now, like they're reaping what they have sown. Because believe it or not, when you sell your soul, it ain't just you selling your soul. You have to sacrifice your family members. You have to eat shit and drink piss and have these sex orgies and all of this type of stuff. It's really, really dark. You have to do child
Yeah.
sacrificing. Like this is real deal, and this is the reality of this existence and that industry. That's why it's going to be important for you to create your own lane. And so utilize the tools that you have. Don't be afraid of jumping into the unknown. And so right now the AI though is going to be very big for artists. I mean, they got a new one that came out where you can just type in lyrics and it'll generate a whole song for you. And you can release it as your own. So you can start if you're a songwriter and you can't find nobody to, stitch your lyrics
Saying it
and
up,
sing
right?
it. It's the Suno. It's called Suno.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's a way, for you to create some income and even just display your talent and show what you got as a songwriter. MC, the same thing. The artist that I collaborated with, she put one of our songs in there, and it's amazing. So I'm tapping in with technology and new things, and looking
Yeah.
to really embrace the children at this time. Want to make music, dance music that's going to appeal to the children. They don't have what we had when it can't come to support uh, community, the village. They don't have it. We had it. I'm 45, so I had it. But the children now they don't have it, and it's a big part of why they're dealing with such high levels of depression and suicide, even, and just all of the crazy stuff that's going on with our babies, man. So this music is going to be a catalyst to big change and to healing when it comes from something.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. A whole lot you said in there. I'm trying to see which way we're gonna go with it. But I guess since you kind of left off of AI, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Yeah. So Suno was another conversation I had with Tremaine Long and so forth. So he said he used it. And me as a fitness coach, I use it as well. And it definitely game changing and so forth in my productivity,
Right.
because me to run a podcast, to do other things that I'm doing, coaching, working on building a network for artists, entertainers, and so forth.
That's right.
I wouldn't be able to do all three of them if it was just me, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So it definitely helped me out, on the content side of things and stuff like that, brainstorming and stuff like that. So I definitely get it to that point.
That's all.
But you do have so you do have those, I guess, concerns where artists thinking that their music is being copied and used without them being compensated in some kind of way and stuff like that. So those issues and stuff like that. My thought to it, like I said, I'm not fully in the music business like I want to, but on the business side, I do get it to a certain degree. But my thing is, guys, here is not going on anywhere. Technology is study progressing, so you got to get with it in a sense, But at the same time, don't let it be where it just is not you at all,
You're right.
And you want to have, you using it as a tool is what I would say.
Indeed. And don't be, have fear that your stuff is gonna get stolen because I mean our phones are tapped. Everything is already tapped. Your computers, so all of your music is already uploaded into these systems. You know what I'm saying? They're all interconnected. So don't be afraid of that and allow that to hold you back and stop your bag. Because utilize this artificial intelligence to get yourself where you need to be. And the label where that you can release your music on as an independent artist or the app is called Amuse,
Muse,
AMUSE,
I heard of Muse.
amuse.io. And Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas, he's one of the investors of that app, and I've been using it since 2019. And it's great. It's gonna get your music in over 300 online stores. You're gonna be Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, everywhere you're gonna be. So definitely tap in with that. It's like $70 for the year, and that's for the pro
Okay.
account. So you can release as many artists as you want, you know,
Okay.
all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And y'all heard of like, even, and then of course you got your mixtape on Bandcamp and stuff like that, those platforms for independent artists and stuff like that. But like, what would you say, like, when it goes to them putting out stuff, independently, like, be it streaming platforms, because there's some concerns with streaming platforms such as Spotify, where, they say you're getting 0.03 of a penny, whatever that means, and stuff like that. But uh, and a lot of them talking about going to direct to consumer, back to the direct to consumer. Like you said, you're 45, I'm 39. So
okay,
we remember the time of cassettes and CDs and all that stuff like that. So
correct.
we know what that is and what that feel like. But my thing is, I talk to my cousin about this all the time. Is like, yeah, I get that to a degree. Yeah, you can definitely quantify your money a lot more better that way because it's tangible and all that stuff like that, and more predictable. But how can you get the consumer to just buy this person album? That would mean like they like 20 different artists, they gotta buy 20 different albums, and everything. And not a lot of it when they can get it in just this one platform for $20. So I think that's where the disconnect comes from, with artists versus the consumer.
Right.
What would you say to that? Like, do you think direct to consumer is a way? And then another part of it is with the direct to consumer, that person got to really have some fans. You know what I'm saying? Because that means you telling that people to keep buying from you every time you put something out. So I think you got to get to have a certain level of fans and everything, or super fans, I should say, and getting to that point where you can go direct to consumer. Because nobody knowing you per se, like, how do you do that, or is it a way that you market where they can be direct to consumer? There's a few things I said, but whatever you want to touch on.
Now, as far as I would say, utilize both because the Spotifys and all of that, you can sell your merchandise on there as well as Bandcamp. But it's also a great promotional tool when you're applying for festivals and applying to play, even at different clubs and stuff. They're gonna ask you for those links. So you don't not want to have it. I mean, something is better than nothing. And, again, it's just a place that people go. It's a popular place. You can get playlisting, which that's a service that Dom offers with his marketing packages. He's going to get your music into different playlists that will give you more plays and more eyes on your music. So you definitely want to utilize it. It's good and bad and everything per se, but with Bandcamp, you can release exclusive content that can only be found on Bandcamp. And that's how you can start to attract people that are truly your fans and, promote exclusive tracks, which means that they can only find it on Bandcamp. They're not going to hear it on Spotify. They're not going to hear it on iTunes. You can also sell your merchandise. You can sell your merchandise on both Spotify and Bandcamp. Bandcamp does take a fee, but the money comes directly to you. So that's the good thing with that. And also they have vinyl, I believe, which you can release your stuff on vinyl, do some special editions of your hottest track. People can get it on vinyl, and that's something that you can use to send to DJs. You can do a DJ list. And that's something that you're gonna want to do as an artist anyway, is start gathering DJ lists so that you can do your email blasts of your EPK, your electronic press kit. You're gonna wanna send your music to DJs, and so I've been linking up with DJs, and the DJ that I just met yesterday, I know she tapped in, so, even I can be a source, for you to get your music rotating in the clubs or wherever they spinning, so, yeah, I would say utilize both. Don't, 'cause it's
Yeah,
still happening, like, in why
yeah,
you're not losing anything. Yeah, they're playing your music or people can play your music and you're getting pennies on the dollar, but at least you're getting plays and people are hearing it. and who knows, the right person may hear it and, wanna put it on a movie or a commercial or something like that. So, you know,
Yeah.
don't, don't not do it.
Right. Yeah. So like more, yeah, I hear about the sync placement or sync deals and stuff like that or whatever as well. So yeah, I mean, and how I see some people using it, kind of like how you saying it is like more like with the Sprint streaming platform per se, is more so like a advertisement in a sense because you're not getting the most for it, but you're getting some from it. So, but it is for your music to be heard and seen, and for you to get in people's awareness
Yeah.
and everything's up. Yeah. So basically what you're saying. And then like I said, again, using both the direct to consumer type stuff and I think too what it is, people it can be a little do you think it could be a little bit where they are a little bit lazy, they just want one platform to do
They don't
everything?
wanna spend no
And
money on themselves. They
yeah,
want everything for
right.
free. You have to invest in
Uh
yourself
right.
because okay, if you don't wanna invest in yourself, you're gonna have to take that selling your soul for silver and gold deal. If you want and so this is but the reality of the majority of artists said, "I got a hit song or an album, and I need the cash right now." And so that's the only way you're gonna get that, is to sell out, but you should if you're gonna release your music yourself, invest in playlisting. Invest with
Okay.
companies that can put your music on big playlists that have a lot of followers that listen to those playlists, so you can get your numbers up quicker. If that's what you're trying and it be real listeners, because you can pay to get your listens up quicker, but it's not real numbers, it's just bot. But if you really want your music heard, investing in playlisting is the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you on that. Uh now you was mentioning the other part of it as well, like I don't heard certain artists that people be in the industry and so forth, where they're like, man, what's this Illuminati stuff people talking about and so forth. I don't been in the industry this amount of years. Ain't nobody propositions me. I didn't see anything in any of these rooms and so forth. So I don't know what y'all talking about. So is there some? And then I hear other people like Corey Holcomb per se. He's a comedian, not, but he's in the entertainment industry, and he say some of these things is going on. And that's probably why he's not as big as he could be because he knows all that and goes against that and so forth.
Mhm.
So is it something like where it's a selection process where they know certain people are more susceptible to it, where they probably not showing them this type of stuff? What have you or what it is, and it is and the truth to that alumni. So like where you stated so, but I just want to ask it again. It's another guy, the guy that played Pinky on Friday. I'm forgetting his name right now, but he mentioned it. He said that he has been propositioned a couple times.
Right.
But go ahead, huh?
Yeah, didn't they
No, he ain't. From my understanding, I don't think he
or was
has.
it Devo that passed?
Debo that passed. Yeah.
Well, from my experience and just what I've been through, with actual attacks on my life, I know that it's real. And so, for me and what I've been learning is that these covens and, they target so-called light workers, people who come to uplift humanity, empaths. And so of course it's the good versus the evil, right? And that's what basically they're doing is taking out people that bring good into the earth. And so that has been what I've experienced too, because I don't hurt nobody. But I'm gonna tell the truth. And I don't care who don't like it, I don't care who it's about. And so I've been speaking out over the years, ever since I started learning about it, which was in 2011 after my grandmother was murdered. I had just come back from Poland. I was over in Warsaw, Poland. I was over in Sweden. I had just reestablished myself as a solo art as no, actually I was with Your Majesty. We had come back together. But now I have Shunda K and Your Majesty. So I made sure I maintained myself this time around after we came back together. And so I had come back from over there. I went to see my brother. He was locked up. I'm coming from the prison, calling my grandma. Like, gonna tell her I just came to I'm seeing my brother because she always raised us to be close and to love each other. And I knew that would make her happy. And I'm calling, ain't nobody answering. She usually answer the phone. I call my auntie and I'm like, Auntie, you heard from mama? I'm trying to call her. She like, baby, your mama gone. I'm like, she gone where? She said, "She gone, baby. She died last night." And so I didn't know anything about anything. I just know that I wanted to know the truth. I wanted, so after that happened, it triggered me to go on a fast for the truth. And back then, it was no censorship on YouTube, so you could find everything on there. Like, all kind of videos that they would never not dare have on there today. And so I was learning about it. I was learning about, it's like I was led to this Illuminati. Like, I ain't know nothing about it, but this is how my spirit seems, 'cause I tap in with my ancestors. They just guide me, or a video appear, and so I'm like, "What?" So they had all these celebrities. It was videos about all of them, all the rappers, mainly, hip hop, like all and who they sacrificed, and this is how it happened. And then videos of what you have to do when you sell your soul, and I mean, it showed people eating shit and drinking piss, and they have to have sex with dead bodies, and it no, it's no sense. I'm just saying this is the shit, and so I'm seeing it, and so I'm like, damn. I had a Mexico tour. This was like November, December 2011. I had a tour in Mexico coming up the following year, 2012, January 2012. This is the end of 2011. I'm learning all this. I start learning about all this shit, and I'm like, I can't be a part of this. I'm gonna have to cancel my tour, because how can I be on stage knowing that this is going on? This is the industry. I freaked out, and so I canceled my Mexico tour. I let so many people down, but it was the beginning of a serious spiritual awakening for me. And so since that time, I just started teaching about it on Facebook. That was the biggest platform that I had, or just the platform I was used to, and a lot of posting. And I started sharing this stuff. And of course, this 2011, 2012, people looking at me like, baby, she done lost her mind. I'm sharing the information I learned about. There was a Jewish rabbi named Abe Finkelstein. He talked about how he said over 400,000 people go missing in this country every year. What do you think we do with the dead bodies? He said we take them to the slaughterhouses where your meat is, and grind the bodies, and we serve them as your sausage for breakfast and your burgers for lunch. That's what you like to eat. And so he was just talking all this shit. I'm like, what? And so I'm going to research. Over 400,000 people go missing. I'm going down this rabbit hole. And the further I go down, it's showing me the reality of this existence. And I'm just like, I just had to I mean, I detached from everything, and I was totally toned in to the reality of our world and the people who run it and the people who we think are righteous and just innocent. I mean, this is the gospel, and this is every industry, all of the athletes, everybody got to do it. It don't matter who you are. If you have celebrity status, you're rich, you're famous, whether you play sports, you're an actor, actress, you're a musician, whatever, are all a part of this, you know. So it was my destiny and a part of my calling to bring exposure to this and to let the people know. And so it made me a target. And I have been questioned by the FBI. I have been attacked by the US government. They did a full blown drone attack on my ass when I was homeless on the beaches of New Orleans. They shot at me for about 40 minutes from the sky. And I saw the power of God and how my angels and my ancestors, like, I'm in a tent, but none of them bullets touched me. But when I woke up the next morning, it was a dead blue jay with his head blown off right next to my tent. So my spirit team left that as a sign to show me that God is real, baby, and we got you covered. No weapon that forms. And so my responsibility is to tell the whole damn truth, baby. Whether it's against the government, whoever, it doesn't matter, because ain't nobody coming to save us, and we were promised a new earth that we ourselves are gonna have to usher in through our deeds and actions. And so I take my job very, very serious. My gifts, I make sure that I'm intentional and that I utilize them to uplift humanity and to get people back in tune with itself.
Definitely, man. It's crazy, and like I said, it's a lot of stories out there that I be hearing and so forth, and even the ones that made it and so forth. But do you think everybody's like that? That's like mainstream? Because I hear some people, that is mainstream in the entertainment industry as a whole that stated that they got there purely on their talents and stuff like that. They didn't have to sell their souls and stuff like that. Is that possible? Is what I'm asking.
Believe it is, and I heard a lady doing an interview back when I first started, before YouTube was censored and I started learning, right? She say 97% of the industry, everybody, because it's a part of their cult and their coven, like to do wicked things to harness energy. Because, evil things harness energy too, just like the so that's the path that they choose is to do incite fear in the people. I mean, the government is like the biggest warlock, and they do it on a mass scale. But there are individuals that are targeted by these covens and cults to harness our energy, to sacrifice us, so that they can steal our gifts and destiny and all of this type of stuff. And so, I learned about the black magic and witchcraft side of things, but they also, I'm like, it's not really that powerful if your ass still got to commit a crime for this spell work you did on me to be true or to become come true. So it's very delusional,
Yeah,
man. But it
yeah,
happens. And so,
yeah,
when you protect it, you know, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to live in fear. God is not giving us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind, baby. And so I'm walking in my power and self love.
yeah. I feel you. We going I'm say one more thing on it, then we can go to something else. I remember on the Comedy Hype had interviewed the guy who played Lamont on Separate and Son. He kind of alluded to what you were saying for the cup thing. He said he basically was saying that's in there, but it's more so like they gotta have something on you. Kind of like a gang. He didn't reference it as a cult. He said like a gang. I don't know fully about gang culture, but they have you to shoot somebody or kill somebody, and to be initiated and stuff like that. So he's saying it's operated like that in a sense. So he's going in agreement with what you're saying is what I'm talking.
It's true.
Yeah. So, but I believe I wanted to expound that, have you to expound that as well, because again, that's like I was alluding to earlier. You want to go talking to the artists, people who in the wanting to go into the entertainment industry to have their eyes open
Right.
and not to be bright eyed and bushy tail of the dream, the glamour and glitz of
Yeah.
everything, but also understand the business and that they are going into,
Oh, yeah. It's
and so
very
forth.
wicked.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
best to just stay on your own path, learn about,
Hmm.
the business and what works for you. But
Yeah.
that's the foundation. Like you got to have a hot product. You gotta have publicity and you have to have a strong buzz, and that's what's gonna get you paid because 'cause you're gonna make your money from your live shows and your merchandise.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and so right now, before you even doing paid shows, get you some merchandise, get you some T-shirts, some hats, whatever that can put, and help you brand your brand. But you gotta think outside the box, man. That's the way to do it. 'Cause it's not worth it's a temporary success. You're not gonna have a peace of mind because the shit they gonna have you doing, baby, is gonna go all the way against your morals, okay?
My cousin made it akin to like chewing gum. They basically chew you up, like get all the flavor out of you, and then spit you out once you they through with you and so forth. That's basically how he explained it.
It's true.
So basically, so with that said, not just really trying to be famous and so forth. Do you say independent is the way to go? Don't. I hear a lot of people that's in the independent space that, man, don't sign with the suits, in industry and stuff like that. Stay independent. Keep your IP, keep your masters, your publishers and stuff like that or whatever. But what would you say to that?
If it's your destiny to be a superstar, you will be elevated to that status through your deeds and actions and putting into your life what you want out of it. And being, a celebrity is an illusion because it's temporary. Like you're saying, they gonna chew you up and spit your ass out, and you're not gonna get what you think you want. Like that little $1,000,000, baby, that is nothing compared to your soul and the rest of your life. And if you got a long life, if it's destined for you to have a long life and you done sold your soul, that's a lot of years that you're gonna live in grief and pain. I mean, of course, God is forgiving, but who wants to go through that karma? Because when you take somebody's life, you don't know or do wicked things to other people, you don't know what your punishment is gonna be because you're truly gonna reap what you sow, straight up. So it's best to sow good deeds and sow good into yourself, your self-love, your self-worth, man. You worth more than giving a bitch control over you when you got free will. God gave you free will. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Do not sell out. You're not gonna be happy.
I think it goes into I get it because I'm in the entrepreneur as well in the state as well, and I think again I've been as the artist I've been talking to. I believe a lot of us don't think of us ourselves as a brand, or this is not entrepreneurship.
Yes,
They just
sir.
think that, so they go into the mindset of when they
Employee.
when employee mindset and so forth. So and I'm just working and let them do all the business stuff. I don't want to do all that, and it is hard work, because I'm a one man show, and you got so many hats that you got going on, and it can get it can get daunting and so forth, and especially when you're not, and as you said, it takes time.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the results so quick,
Mhm.
and definitely, man, you're like, well, this person dangling this $1 million advance over you, and make it so easy to get into that. But then once you get into it, you're like, man, I should.
It's worse than a divorce. I'm telling
That's an interesting way you put it right there. Right, right. Yeah.
you.
Okay.
You know?
That man, but yeah, that's why I want to get people to understand that you are a brand. No matter if it's the music, it's the acting, modeling, all that stuff like that. You are a brand
Yeah,
first.
'cause you're supposed to
And
have
what do you want your
EIN for your business. You're
right?
supposed to have a EIN. Sorry to cut you off, but it is, and it's the entrepreneurial mindset, like you're saying. Like we was not created to be employees. How can you be in control of your own destiny and create your own reality when you work for somebody else? You have to work for yourself. If you're doing music, yeah, you can have like I own a lawn service, I own multiple businesses. But I still know that my music is a business as well. And that's the main reason that the group didn't work out because they didn't understand that. Like this is a business. You can't miss shows, baby, for no reason unless you
Mm-hmm.
own
Yeah.
deathbed. And your
Mm-hmm.
ass is
Yeah.
fine. You're supposed to be on the stage. Where you
Right.
at? Because that people are
Uh-huh.
see three girls, but
Mm-hmm.
only two or one show up. It's like that's false advertisement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I was dealing with. But I mean, it's totally true. You have to run your life. And my dad even said, LaShonda, he said, you got to run your life like a business. And then you even have to run your life like a business. It ain't nothing personal, it's business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right.
you are your own top priority. So definitely.
I like that message too. Run your life like a business. I don't think we do that enough too. I'm probably start using that. I'm gonna take that from you and your dad.
Exactly. Sure, it's real. And so until you can find the right people to work with to build your team, because as you start being successful, you're gonna need management and assistants or whatever. But they gotta be the right people and come in with the right intention. So like you're saying, you're a one man show. I'm a one woman show. So until I find the right people who not gonna be hating on me, and like, baby, you came to me. I put the advertise. You came to me, and you came to me with that. I don't. So anyway, again, go back to I'm attracting good people in my life, man. And
I get you and
I'm
everything.
speaking, I'm claiming, and so
Oh yeah,
it
claim me.
takes time though. But long as you
Right,
got
right.
yourself,
Yeah, and yeah, and like I'll be telling people all the time, like whatever you're doing in life, you want to like when kind of akin to when I say about fitness and so forth. When you start moving in a way, you're thinking in a certain way, when you adopt fitness into your lifestyle and so
yeah,
forth, everything else around you, kind of people around you, everything that's around you, kind of change and stuff like that
yeah.
towards that.
And
So,
so
it speaks to what you're saying, yeah. So what now?
fitness training,
Yeah, fitness coach and training, yes, sir.
hey, health is wealth. Straight up. Like if you ain't in good health, you're not gonna be able to enjoy nothing that you put in all that work into force. So you definitely got it. I'm an advocate of that. I live a vegan lifestyle and I teach people, or try to expose and explain and express how important it is for you to take care of your health. Because it's not just the things that we're doing, it's things that are happening on the outside of us that are being done to us is the reason why we have to eat to live and not live to eat and exercise, like you're saying, is very important. Truly and truly. Where are you located?
I'm in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
You say you in Florida,
I'm in
right?
Tampa.
Okay,
I'm gonna,
cool,
I'm
cool.
gonna have to stop through
Yeah.
and see you. I go to New Orleans
Uh,
quite
oh,
often,
for real?
so I'm gonna have to stop through
Okay.
there and
All right.
check you out.
Definitely, that sounds good. And yeah, but what I was saying basically on that is that once you go into a certain way, like whatever you thinking you change, whatever type of routine you change, like that was the true essence of what I was saying. It goes with what you're saying. Everybody around you, everything else around you, your thought process, your movements, actions are to change and gravitate towards what you are doing.
Mhm.
But if you thinking of the past and thinking of a certain, a negative way, you will act that way as well. And everything else will come to you that way. So it's a law of attraction, pretty much is what I'm saying when it all boils down,
Yeah,
no matter what you are doing. Yeah.
that's right.
So yeah, so that's basically but what I'm saying now. You've been doing it seems like maybe in the 90s, early 2000s before making music. If that's correct, okay. So it's a lot of music that I probably ain't been able to find. I did look you up on Apple Music and so forth, and I see for at least 4 albums right here. Cause last one is so on here, The Return of the Dragon in 2022,
Now
and so forth. So like, so how much music do you got out there, like that, so people can find you and so forth, and everything. So that's what I can find other outside that mixtape.
okay. Yeah, you can definitely check me out with my group, Your Majesty. It's
Okay.
YO and then Majesty, Majesty. So check out Your
Hmm.
Majesty. Like I was saying, that's where it kind of began for me. I started out as a solo artist, but when I put the group together, it was like all about Your Majesty. And so, we spent a lot of time together. We put some hot songs together. We were able to ink a deal with Domino Records out of London, and they're like one of the
Okay.
biggest indie labels over there. They're distributed through EMI. Like, we was doing $80,000, $100,000 tours, which is pretty good for some girls from the you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Now, when you said that earlier, I didn't know that you can actually get signed from somebody out of out of the country and
Yeah.
so forth. So that was interesting to hear
Mhm.
you got signed to a UK label, and so forth. I mean, but how did that work?
Well, we played South by Southwest in 2007. And so, like I was saying, South by Southwest is a big music festival that is held in March in Austin, Texas. And it go on for about a week. And so all week, all of the club, they got like 300 clubs just in downtown Austin. And they're just playing all day long for a week, different bands from around the world. And so we went to this festival in 2007 and was killing all the shows. We were doing like 3 shows a day, daytime shows, even night shows. And so after we had like a big show at this spot called the Beauty Bar. And I mean, we just really showed up and showed out and I mean, we got footage of it. But that right there and just the buzz we were building. We were building the buzz. People was hearing about our shows. Like my band member, she used to take her shirt off, titties everywhere. So it was like, they rocking that. These girls, come on, baby, they crazy. Man. We going to that show. So, everybody was at the show. So from that point on, we actually secured a attorney. Shouts out to Roger. We secured one of the biggest marketing companies in North America. They were called Big Three at the time. Shouts out to Catherine. And then we had a couple labels. One was Domino Records. We had Tommy Boy Records. They old school. They was trying to sign us, but we went with Domino. And so we signed with them in 2008, dropped our album, and then it started as 3 girls, but it went down to 2. And so we
Do up.
signed we signed the deal. We do a couple tours, but then all hell break loose. My other band member going to jail, all type of crazy stuff was happening. And we were being really, it was divine intervention for me to just start focusing on myself. And once I seen that things were gonna go down, I started doing, like I was saying, the Shonda K shows while I was touring with Your Majesty, so that it would be a smooth transition. I could still stay relevant and do what I love because I was like, man, I put my time and energy. I don't want to have to sit out just because things not working out with the group. I'm gonna invest in myself. And so that was the jump off of Shonda K like 2009. And so from there, 2009 to like 2011, I was touring as Shonda K and put the group back together with the other girl who was in the group because it was 3 of us. And so that's when I came back from Poland. Like we had just solidified Your Majesty because Shonda K was good. Now we got Your Majesty back on. So when I came
Okay.
back home, my grandmother, had passed, and so, man, I went on that journey. Baby, I've been going down the rabbit hole ever since. And just going through, different things that have been teaching like, life has really been teaching me, shaping and molding me, and like you said, man, your attitude is very important. And so I understand having an attitude of gratitude and always being grateful and thankful for what I do have. I'm on that for real, and I try to keep a positive mindset and catch myself, when I'm venturing out into this negative thinking. And being gentle with myself because we can be our own worst enemy. So, but that's how it started, and now it's like I'm being given a second chance, and not even a second chance, but this is my time. I had to go through all of that to now reach my time in the fullness. And so I'm going in it with a peace of mind, with confidence. I'm building a strong team, people that love me, that
Hmm.
it ain't no fake love, it's really all love. And so I'm floating. I can't
Yeah. So I feel so not like a second chance, but more like second wind, so
Ooh,
to speak.
you said yes, I love that.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. That would, yeah, definitely. So I get you. Now I was looking at your Instagram with the first few, and I seen an interview that you had. We can talk about Shunda K, like where that name came from, if you want to talk about that.
My name Lashonda, it's actually Hebrew. And so this lifetime, because I believe that we have multiple lifetimes that we've been in the earth. And so this lifetime, my grandparents raised me, and we called my grandmother Mut. And so when you look into the Egyptian pantheon, Mut was the great mother. And so I resonate with the Egyptian side of things. My other grandmother, she was very powerful in the church. And I really believe she understood, like when you talk about the chakra system and, spirituality and being able to cast demons. And so I got a chance to witness grandma do that and actually cast demons out of people and them having to vomit to release them. Like that's how I was raised. So, I was raised under some very powerful women. But Grandma Trudy, the pastor who I'm talking about, she named me LaShawn. And so when I look into the name LaShawn, it is Hebrew and it means tongue of fire. And so
Tongue of fire.
tongue of fire. So when it come, and I always say I spit this fire like
All
SK.
right. Right.
So, when I looked into, with my style and how I could, Twister is one of my favorites. Like, I love the way he wrote.
Okay. Yeah.
I was into MJG and 8 Ball,
Hmm.
Outkast,
Hmm.
Dance
Yeah. Yeah.
Great back when it was real,
Right.
before all this other stuff. And so that was pretty much how I shaped my style. And so now, though, I've been not too much worrying about how I'm gonna like the style. It's just more so now, like I'm really resonating with the beats and the music I listen
Okay.
to, and I kind of let the music guide me as
Mm-hmm.
far as how
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, how it's gonna come out and how I'm gonna spit it. But before it was like, I gotta do it this way. I gotta make sure I'm, on the beat. And so I done calmed
Right.
down a lot on my Wu
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. And let's talk about that a little bit. Like, so what is your creative process like? Like how when you approach a song or your thought process to it, like your structure. Like when you do hook first, verse first, what type of beats you looking for, and what you were looking to convey to the audience when they hear, not just what you hear, but what you want your audience to hear, and so forth.
Well, I'm open to all genres of music. That's kinda how my
Okay.
music career got started. And so right now I'm working with a producer he's from Venezuela, but he lives in Brazil. I work with producers from
Okay.
all over the world, but his music has that Spanish vibe to it. But he
Hmm.
produces all genres, just various genres. And so
Okay.
it just depends on the beat. If the beat opens up with the verse, because I can tell by listening, I'm gonna write the verse. Or sometimes I may not be able to come up with the verse to need to do the hook, but it may be the
Hmm.
beginning of the track. So, I've kind of find it, just listen to the beat a few times. It's pretty easy for me to find or distinguish the difference between what the beat sounds like in the verse, each bridge. And so pretty
Mm-hmm.
much how I'm guided, when I listen to music is depending on the structure of the beat, and of course, once I'm feeling the vibe, it's like the beat speaks to me, you know?
Okay.
And
Okay.
so it being intentional, like you said, and knowing that, okay, we can take this song once I get a few words, we can take this song this direction so that we can reach our goal, which is to inspire and
Yeah.
motivate. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
Okay. Okay. So when I think that's cool. That when I started writing and so forth, my first writing, first song lyrics I wrote when I was like 16, I ain't had no beat in mind. I didn't know anything about counting bars and song structure and stuff like that at the time. But when I really like actually started getting into it, because I kind of put me wanting to make music behind me for a while. But when I started doing it and learning about it, like, okay, like, oh, you gotta have a beat in mind because you ain't gonna be able to put this song to a put this what you wrote to a beat and so forth. But it's that's interesting that you said that you kind of know what beat you got in your mind and everything like that. That's not my process. I gotta have to actually hear the thing and then write to but I can write without the beat, but I don't have the beat in mind. So that's interesting for you to say like that. Like you like I'm musically inclined, like where I was raised in the church and so forth, and I beatbox and all that stuff like that. I was like one of them best pen tappers in high school and so forth. But me when it approach music, is I don't have nothing in mind when it comes to write. So how do you do that?
well, I usually listen to the beat. Like with my
Okay, okay,
producer, he'll send me,
okay.
beats, and I just listen to them and, however the music is leading me and guiding me
Hmm.
as the direction that I go.
Okay, okay.
But with what you're doing, because I used to write like that, where
Uh-huh.
without anything, I used to like write poetry
Uh-huh.
first.
Hmm.
With that,
That's how I
it's
start.
like once you memorize your stuff, you hear a beat, you should be able to spit it. Are you an
Okay.
MC or you sing?
Well, I would say MC. I can sing a little bit as well. One or two songs I got where I might have to come out with the singing a little bit. Yeah, but for the most part, yeah, hip hop been my thing, and that's how I started. Like I said, writing poems and stuff like that
Yeah,
until I learned till I got exposed to hip hop. I like, oh, this can go to a beat and stuff like that. And that's when it kind of was born from there
that's what's up. You
and so
got your
forth.
old
I got a couple of them. It was one of yeah, I think it was a scam back then. It was like poetry.com. You remember that back then?
uh-uh.
I submitted it to that, and then they talk about is it gonna be published and stuff like that. I think that was a way for them to get money. You know what I'm saying? You put you give it, but no. I didn't spend no money with them. But it just they said it just said I got it published. I don't even know if the site even exists anymore. But that particular one, I think is another one I gotta find. But now on the stuff I wrote, I don't really got the poetry I wrote. I don't have them. If I'm trying to think, do I got any? That's the only one I got that I can remember right now. Maybe if I look around and see, and then look at some old stuff that I wrote, I might be able to find it.
Yeah, I
But
done lost
yeah, but that
stuff too, so don't feel bad.
yeah. But yeah, because I was thinking like poetry was a little bit corny as well too. Even though I was doing it, but I was thinking it was it was corny, so I didn't really like doing it as much, and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, but I was good at it though. But I still can do it now.
corny.
Yeah.
I
Huh?
say it's not corny, so if you want
Yeah.
to step out with it, I'm sure the world
Yeah, kind of like a Def Poetry Jam type thing and stuff like that. Like like I said, when I first started, before I knew how to count bars and stuff like that, my writing was still in a poetic format, and it wasn't in those stanzas, and everything like that, or and everything or whatever. So that was different. But yeah, I was that person. I always was good
that's
with words and so forth and everything, writing letters. Like I tell people, like my friends had, with their girlfriends and so forth, and I got good penmanship. My handwriting is real neat and so forth. So they would have me write a whole new letter to their girlfriend, like it's my girlfriend. So I'm very descriptive and all that stuff like that and everything. Yeah, so they had me write the whole thing to them and everything. That was somebody had when I was telling somebody that she said, she said that was your first ghostwriting gig. I said,
so
well, yeah.
yeah,
All right, so but yeah, like okay, but yeah, but it all started from those beginnings and so forth. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Is there anything we talked about a lot? We went all over the place with some things and so forth. But is there anything that you want to discuss? We can talk about a little bit, but I'm gonna ask you this though: is there anything that you want to discuss that we haven't talked about today?
No, I mean, we've definitely covered all the bases, I think, just
Mm-hmm.
encourage the people to take out more time for yourself
Mm-hmm.
and really embrace healing, and facing your fears. And so that's all, coupled with the healing, but it's definitely healing time. And I love y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all check me out at shundak.com.
Okay. All right, cool, cool. I was gonna get to that. I'm gonna do one more question with you. So can you shout out, like, talk about some of the businesses that you do? I think that's relevant too. I think people who make music and stuff like that need to have multiple streams of income. So, and you said as well, we talking about entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So, talk about some of the businesses that you do. If you got the time, if you don't, we can go on.
Oh no,
We
we
can,
definitely
you know.
got time.
Okay,
I own a lawn
okay,
here, in Florida.
okay,
And so we specialize in cleanups. And so it's not the typical mow, blow, and go. It's like, stream trimming, nail weeding. It's old school. We don't really use a lot
okay,
of power tools, but we do when it's necessary. But just beautifying properties and restoring them. I launched a
okay.
t-shirt business about a week ago.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Okay,
Inspiration is called intentionsandinspirations.com. And so you can go
okay,
there and find different shirts that are inspirational. Um,
okay,
Things like "Be Your Best," even
okay,
self-love, highest vibration. Just different things
okay.
to remind you affirmation
Right.
to
I
keep
got
your
you.
vibration. So I'm excited
All
about
right.
that. We also
Yeah.
have a credit repair and trade line where we help
Mm,
people get their credit straight and also provide trade for when you want to
okay.
make new purchases and you need a boost in your credit score. And so we offer them all to help you use that credit score to secure what you're trying to get. We
Okay.
have a woodworking business, Back to Nature, where we
Okay. Okay.
wood that we chopped up and created different products like that. I have a
Okay.
phone holder. We got some 420 trees, carrying turkeys. So,
Okay.
there's so many things that
Right.
working
Right.
on that. I'm like, I'm trying to get all the money. Like you said, they both.
Right. 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 I mean, that's what it's all about, and I always like to shine light on that because that's what the show is about too. It is the creative in us, and not just the entertainment side of things, but we are
Yes,
creators.
we are.
So entrepreneurship is it's all the way 100% creative. You know what I'm saying? And if you just got one way of doing things, you gonna have those seasons where it's up and down. So you being an entrepreneur, it ain't quite like a 9 to 5. Things go not, you know what I'm saying? So where it's just this payment, you can expect this payment every time.
Right.
Push-up is up and down, so you want to make if this going down, the other one is up, and so forth. So that definitely you can stay in flow, and it pretty much, So think that's something I wanted to shine a light on, that you want to
Yeah.
have other things in the fire. But what you're doing sounds, I like what you're doing too. It's just mainly like it's an extension of yourself and your music as well, and you just putting it more into a not just audio, but in a more tangible way for people to experience and uplift them and so forth and everything as well. So I like
You
that.
dig it's
And,
service, and with this because I just relaunched the line business this year. And I said
okay,
I want to get it going again because I know that the elders and the seniors, they need help. And a lot of these companies, from horror stories that I've heard from my customers, how they pay all this money and they don't get what they pay for. And so, we're definitely making a difference because we doing what we say, what they pay for. It's
okay,
been good and get a chance to interact with people and speak life into them and so on and so forth. It's all
all right.
good.
Okay, definitely, most definitely. All right, so before we get out of here, let everybody know, again, where they can find your music, where they can book you,
Mhm.
even any of your other services too as well. Just set whatever you want to set out.
Okay, yeah, y'all check me out at shundak.com. I have my 50 track mixtape that's available for free download on there. So y'all hit me up on there if you want to book me or have any questions or comments. You can book or email me at booking at shundak.com. Booking at shundak.com and just shundak.com for the website.
Okay, cool. Y'all check Shunda out. And definitely, I appreciate you for coming to the show. I would say much success to you and your endeavors as you keep your music and other things going on as well. And then, like I said, and even further collaboration between us down the
I'll
road and
definitely
everything as well. Yeah. So,
touch.
oh yeah, definitely. So we getting out of here, and I'm Trea Da Fit Artist. It's been Sculpt N Create with Shunda K. We out, y'all.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. If you're looking for fitness coaching to help you reach your goals, want to join our animated network for fitness guidance, collaborations, networking, and community, or are interested in being a guest on the show, check out the links in the description. Stay creative, stay fit, and we'll holler at you next time.